Alright, let's get real here. Attraction is not always a grand gesture or a direct confession. In fact, it often sneaks in through the back door, wrapped up in a smile, a glance, or some super subtle body language. But here's the thing. Sometimes those little signs are way louder than words. So, how can you decode these secret messages? Let's break it down step by step so you can leave behind any doubts and get the clarity and confidence you deserve in relationships. Number 1. The subtle body language cues. Now, this one's a classic. Body language. Alright, let's talk about body language, because when a guy is into you, his body is doing all the talking, even if his mouth isn't. Forget the obvious flexing or posturing. We're talking about the small cues that slip out without him even realizing it. For starters, if he starts leaning in closer during a conversation, it's not because he wants to hear about your snack choices. He's getting physically closer because he's genuinely interested in what you have to say. It's a subtle shift in his posture, no pushing you into his personal space, just slowly inching closer because he wants to be near you. And have you ever noticed how he keeps gravitating toward you in a group? While everyone else is talking, he somehow always ends up next to you, like he's magnetized to your energy. Then there's the mirroring, when you cross your arms and suddenly he does the same. You tilt your head in thought and he follows. That's not by accident. Now imagine you're at a party. He's chatting with someone else across the room, but suddenly his voice is next to you. He's leaning in just so he can be closer, without making it obvious. His body's saying, "I'm here for you." Subtle, but super telling. Number 2, the eye contact game. Let's talk eyes. No, not in the "I'm staring into your soul" kind of way, but those cute moments when your eyes meet his for just a beat longer than normal. When a guy is into you, his eyes start doing the heavy lifting. It's one of the most subtle yet powerful ways to communicate interest without uttering a single word. Take prolonged eye contact, for example. It can feel pretty intense, but in a good way. That moment when his gaze lingers just a little too long, and then, whoops, he quickly looks away, almost as if he's caught himself. You can tell he's wondering, did she catch that? But he's probably too shy to hold the stare. Or maybe he's trying to play it cool, not wanting to seem too obvious. If you catch that look though, don't ignore it. It's a pretty clear sign that he's captivated by you. Now, let's talk about those awkward quick glances. You know, when your eyes meet for half a second, and then he quickly looks away like he's just gotten caught doing something naughty. This isn't because he's shy. He's just testing the waters. It's his way of saying, "I like what I see, but I'm not sure if you've noticed yet." Classic flirty move. Think back to Darcy and Elizabeth in Pride and Prejudice. Remember those subtle, almost electric glances they exchanged? It wasn't just random staring. It was their silent, unspoken way of saying, "Yeah, I'm into you." The eyes never lie. Number 3, subtle acts of attention. Alright, let's talk about something that can easily fly under the radar, but is huge when it comes to showing interest. Subtle acts of attention. When a guy genuinely likes you, he starts remembering all the tiny details you might not even think are important. You know, the things you casually throw out there in passing, without even realizing they made an impact. Maybe you once mentioned you love almond milk in your coffee, and the next time he gets you a drink, guess what? Yup, almond milk. That's not a coincidence. That's him listening, paying attention to the little things that matter to you. It's his way of saying, "I care about your preferences." And honestly, it's more meaningful than the grand gestures. Or maybe you mentioned that weird new hobby you started. Like, let's say you've suddenly gotten into rock climbing. The next time you see him, he shows up with a rock climbing magazine or some gear related to it. You didn't even expect it, but there it is. That's a guy who's going the extra mile to understand your world and show he's thinking about you. It's the little things, my friends. They speak volumes. Number 4, tone and energy shifts. Okay, this one's a fun and subtle one, and you'll definitely notice it, even if he doesn't realize what he's doing. Have you ever been talking to a guy and out of nowhere, his tone of voice just changes? It goes from casual and neutral to something softer, warmer, and almost more intentional? Suddenly, he's speaking in a way that makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. You'll notice it when his voice slows down just a touch and his responses seem more focused. It's as if he's putting extra effort into making sure you're paying attention and feeling valued. This isn't just any regular conversation. No, this is a conversation where he's tuning into you, and you can feel it. His energy shifts too. When a guy is genuinely attracted, he's all there. He's not distracted by his phone, scrolling mindlessly or looking around the room. No, he's completely locked in. It's like the entire world fades into the background when you're around, and his focus is fully on you. And trust me, you'll feel it. Ever had a guy speak to you in that extra soft, almost intimate tone when no one else is around? It's that I'm in my own little world with you vibe. It's like his voice is speaking just for you, because, well, it is. Subtle, but incredibly powerful. That's him showing you, in the quietest way, just how much he's drawn to you. Number 5. Jealousy or protectiveness. Alright, let's dive into the subtle side of protectiveness. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not talking about over-the-top, possessive behavior here. That's a total red flag. But when a guy's genuinely attracted to you, he might start showing a little bit of protective behavior in a way that's totally low-key and respectful. Imagine you're walking through a crowded space, and without even thinking about it, he steps a little closer to you. Not to crowd you, but to make sure you're not lost in the shuffle. It's his way of ensuring you're safe and comfortable without making it a big production. It's about showing that he cares about your well-being, not controlling where you go or who you talk to. And then there's that subtle shift when another guy is paying attention to you. He won't make a scene or start throwing passive-aggressive comments, but you can tell something's different. Maybe he casually shifts his position a little closer to you or starts engaging more in the conversation. It's like his silent way of saying, "Yeah, I'm here." Ever had a guy ask if you're okay after chatting with someone else? Not because he's suspicious or insecure, but because he genuinely cares about how you're feeling. That's the subtle, protective instinct kicking in. It's sweet, caring, and a clear sign he's looking out for you. Number 6. The extra effort factor. Here's one that's pretty clear once you catch on. The guy who's always making that extra effort. It's not about grand gestures or buying you diamonds. Nope, it's the little things. When a guy is into you, he'll go out of his way to make your life easier or better, without you even asking. Maybe he'll text you in the morning to check in on how your day's going, or offer to grab lunch for you when he knows you're busy. He's paying attention to the things that matter to you and making sure you don't have to ask. This could even show up when he notices that you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, and out of nowhere, he'll suggest a chill activity to help you unwind, like a movie night or a walk in the park. It's not about fixing things, it's about offering you support in the most thoughtful way possible. That's him showing you that he's invested, and he genuinely wants to make your life a little bit easier. Maybe you mentioned once that you have a crazy day ahead with work, and the next thing you know, he's offering to help with something you didn't even realize needed help. He's not looking for praise, he's just doing it because he cares. It's that extra effort that shows how much he's thinking about you. So, there you have it. Those little, subtle signs that a guy is into you. Remember, attraction isn't always loud and flashy. It's often quiet, like a secret language that only the two of you can speak. And hey, if you caught a couple of these signs from someone recently, maybe it's time to play the game and see where it goes. Trust me, you've got this. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, attraction can be as subtle as a wink or as obvious as a big gesture. Just keep your eyes peeled for the signs, and you'll know exactly what's going on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your girls. Let's decode attraction together.